KODY Brown, a star of Sister Wives, has a new style that is startling, and we think there is more to it than meets the eye. KODY Brown has a new look, but it's getting a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons. The controversial polygamist has been in the spotlight because he recently began a monogamous relationship with his fourth wife, Robin Brown. His reality show, Sister Wives, just finished its 19th season with a four-part tell-all special, in which the head of the Brown family continued avoiding big issues. KODY had said before that he never really loved his former three wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine. Fans think that KODY is inherently flawed and that his ideals are inappropriate since he passes the blame instead of taking responsibility. It's clear that he is always trying to change the Brown family's past and tell a story about his not-so-happy relationship with Robin. That's why fans think that KODY's new style might have some selfish motives behind it. A Reddit user posted an image from one of KODY's cameo videos in which he showed off his new teeth. It can look like a minor change to the way someone looks, but fans didn't like it for some reason. They said that the famous person only had 4 teeth in front. Collider says that KODY and Robin spend a lot of money, but not when it comes to family obligations. KODY has not taken care of his ex-wives and kids in the past and has even refused to help them with money. In season 19, Janelle said that her ex-husband took a lot of money from the Brown family fund to pay for things for himself and Robin. This doesn't make sense. He behaves like he's affluent because of all the jewelry, art, and dolls he has. How can he only pay for 4 teeth? One person on Reddit asked. Yes, and I just got a new Mercedes-AMG convertible. That ride isn't cheap, but his teeth are, another fan said. I want to know if these are implants or a bridge. Can you picture Robin getting excited every night by a gummy smile? God, let it be a bridge, quipped a third person on social media. He is a crazy conspiracy theorist who doesn't believe in contemporary medicine and doesn't go to the doctor. Another person online said, he probably ordered some kind of fake, clip-on veneers from an ad. People are definitely talking about KODY and Robin's money problems, and KODY's new look made the discourse much more interesting. It looks like KODY has decided to keep up his lifestyle, even though it costs him money. The couple is said to have bought a $2.1 million property in 2024, which raised eyebrows because of claims that they were having trouble with money. But afterward, In Touch Weekly said that they had to borrow a lot of money from a bank to pay for it. Christine, KODY's first wife, was the first to leave the polygamous relationship in 2021. She has since moved on with her life. Mary and Janelle also left the polygamist 2 years later. KODY has been acting like a victim ever then, but his followers could easily see through him. His new look could be another way for him to avoid talking about the true problem, which is that he has failed as a husband and parent time and time again. But Christine Brown is thinking about what she has learned about love since she and KODY Brown broke up. The Sister Wives star, who is 1 year old, wrote on Instagram on July 18th that love isn't supposed to be confusing. It shouldn't feel weighty or make you wonder. The star of TLC broke up with KODY in November 2021 and married David Woolley in October 2023. Christine Brown has learned a few things about love since she and KODY Brown broke up. The Sister Wives star, who is now married to David Woolley, talked about how she found her real love later in life in an Instagram post on July 18th. She married Woolley in October 2023, 2 years after she divorced from Brown. She started dating Woolley after she became the first of KODY's 4 marriages to leave him in November 2021. This set off a chain reaction that ended his relationships with Janelle and Mary within 14 months. In December 2023, she and her now-husband Woolley were on the Sister Wives one-on-one special. She said that she couldn't be herself with KODY because he only wanted me to be fun and only wanted me to be positive. She also said that KODY only liked the fun little bubbly part of me, and she's not going to stuff it anymore, especially now that she's happy with DAVM. But for months, rumors had been spreading through the tranquil lives of the Brown family in Flagstaff. Fans had guessed, friends had thought, and even the other spouses had started to get ready. But nothing was real until Janelle Brown stood on the porch of her little, cozy home and stated, "KODY and I are no longer together." The announcement came after a lengthy, painful journey for the whole Brown family, not just her. People always thought of Janelle as the sensible one. She stayed calm and focused on her kids while the rest of the plural marriage often got out of control. But something had been slowly crumbling behind her calm strength. It all started with stillness. KODY didn't come around as much anymore. When he did, he didn't pay any attention to the youngsters. He sat on the couch, talked about how angry he was with Christine, and then he went. Janelle, who used to respect his passion and leadership, started to seem like just another thing he had to do. Their profound relationship, which had grown over decades, 6 children, and many sacrifices, was disappearing. One night, after a very heated family meeting where Robin cried and said the others weren't trying hard enough to keep the family together, Janelle drove home by herself. The drive seemed to take longer than usual. The tears she had been holding back for months finally fell. She said to herself, "What am I still holding on to?" Janelle asked KODY to come over a few weeks later. She made him coffee like she normally did, but this time she didn't sit across from him. She stood by the window with her arms folded, watching the snow fall softly outside. She said bluntly, "I think we're done, KODY." He looked up, not sure what to do. Done with what? With this. With us. There was no yelling or big exits. KODY was so shocked that he couldn't speak. He didn't argue this time. "Are you sure?" was the only question he asked. "I've never been more sure." The family went through another wave of stress as the news broke. Mary emailed Janelle a long message of solidarity, saying that she often felt the same way. Christine cheered for her friend's fortitude as she lived her own life in Utah. Robin, on the other hand, mainly stayed quiet. Janelle said on the broadcast, while crying, "I don't regret my life with KODY. I loved him. In many ways, I still do. But love shouldn't feel like a race. I desire tranquility right now. I want to live for myself." KODY, on the other hand, said, "I never thought Janelle would leave. She was always very faithful. But maybe I didn't get how strong she was. I might have thought that being quiet indicated agreeing. I messed that up." Janelle didn't waste time feeling sorry for herself. She worked hard at her business, bought a tiny piece of land to build her dream home, and took her kids on hikes. She even started having weekend dinners with Mary, Christine, and the kids, leaving the past behind one meal at a time. In the last episode of the season, Janelle stood under the Arizona sunset with her grown kids around her. She grinned at the camera and said, "Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. Not because you detest it, but because you love yourself." Next on Sister Wives, the Brown family is getting used to this new chapter, and questions come up. Will KODY ultimately take responsibility? Will Robin face the fact that her family is falling apart? Will Janelle find love again, or is she finally happy being alone? But Mary Brown finally made the biggest decision of her life after years of mental agony. She left Flagstaff and came back to Utah to start over. Mary was resolved to find herself again, not as a sister wife, but as a strong, independent woman. She was no longer tied down by the problems of plural marriage or the memories of her prior relationship with KODY. Mary decided to move to Parowan, a little town that meant a lot to her. It was where her beloved bed and breakfast, Lizzie's Heritage Inn, stood proudly, a sign of her independence and heritage. This was no longer just a business. It became her home, her safe place, and the start of her new existence. The people in the area welcomed her back with open arms and compassion. Mary could finally stroll down the street without people talking about her or paparazzi taking pictures of her. She began to take part in town activities, volunteer at the Historical Society, and hold storytelling nights at her in where she told stories from her past, some sad and others funny. With time and distance from the Brown family's problems, Mary was able to see things more clearly. She didn't need KODY or the other spouses to tell her she was good enough anymore. Instead, she put her focus into things that were important to her. She started an organization called Reclaim Her Voice to help women from numerous homes who wished to rediscover independence, healing, and identity. Mary also took a chance and signed up for psychology classes at a nearby college. In a local interview, she remarked, "I want to help other people understand what I didn't when I was younger." People started to be inspired by her narrative of survival, heartache, and change, and soon she was asked to speak at women's conferences all throughout Utah. Her heart grew as her confidence grew. Mary met Thomas, a retired school principal and widower who had moved to Parowan to be near his grandchildren, on a winter evening at a charity event for single moms in the area. Thomas was the exact antithesis of what Mary was used to. He was kind, compassionate, and down-to-earth. They were friends at first, and they would go for long walks, read novels together, and drink cocoa by the inn's fireplace. Something deeper started to grow over time. There were no expectations or control in this relationship, just respect for one another. Mary was careful but hopeful. This time, she wouldn't give up her own life for someone else. Kody heard about Mary's new life growing in Flagstaff. At first, he didn't care, but as he witnessed Mary get love, success, and respect on her own terms, something changed in him. He clumsily complimented her on a family Zoom call, but his voice was stiff. Christine, Janelle, and even Robin secretly admired how brave Mary was. They all thought about how much Mary had changed and how her story may encourage them to look for their own serenity. A year later, TLC broadcast a special episode called Mary's Utah Rebirth that showed her new life. People were touched by how strong she was and how lovely Lizzie's heritage became as a place for healing. The light in Utah made the snow-covered mountains beyond Mary's house look golden as she stood on her porch. She stared right into the camera and stated, "I thought my story was over when I left the family, but I now know that this is just the start." But it was a nice Sunday morning in Flagstaff. The sky was a soft blue and lavender color, which was a serene contrast to the emotional storm that was brewing in Mary Brown's living room. Christine had said she would come over after the two women hadn't talked for weeks. Their final talk didn't go well. It was full of tears, misunderstandings, and feelings that had been repressed for years. Mary sat on the edge of the couch, holding a cup of chamomile tea tightly. When Christine eventually got there, the silence was oppressive. Mary opened the door with a wary smile as she heard a knock. Mary murmured softly, "Thanks for coming." Christine nodded quickly. "We need to have a talk." Talk a lot. They were sitting across from one another, and the space between them was more than just physical. It was emotional because they had years of hidden anger, jealousy, uncertainty, and wounds from their husband Kody. Christine said, "I've been thinking a lot about what you said last time. About not being seen. I want you to know, I noticed that in you. I just didn't know what to do about it." Mary gulped hard, and her eyes were wet. "I was always trying to keep the family together. But there were times when it seemed like no one wanted me in it." Christine looked down. "I didn't mean to push you away. I was simply so concentrated on staying alive, to keep myself safe from the misery Kody kept causing. I couldn't see how much suffering you were in either." Mary muttered, "I felt betrayed, Christine. Not just Kody. By all of you. I was angry when you left him, but I was also proud of you. You did something I couldn't." Christine's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't want to hurt you, Mary, but I couldn't stay with someone who constantly hurting me." The room went quiet again, but this time it was a softer silence. The kind that happens when two people who were once apart start to get along. Christine went on, "I'm trying to make something new for myself now. Life that is mine. Not only as one of Kody's wives. I want you to find that as well." Mary nodded slowly. "I'm doing my best. It's hard to let go of something I worked so hard on for so long." "I know," Christine answered. "But maybe we don't have to give up everything. We might be able to find a way to stay in touch with each other. As pals. As women who went through a lot of pain together." Mary smiled a little. "That would mean a lot to me." At that moment, Truly's laughter could be heard from the kitchen, where she had been playing on her iPad. The moment felt less heavy. This chat between two women who had formerly shared a husband and now shared a lifetime of memories was a start to healing, even though it didn't happen all at once. Mary followed Christine to the door when she rose up to leave. Christine said, "We're stronger than we think," and then she went outdoors. "Yeah," Mary said, her voice stronger than it had been in a long time. "We are." And for the first time in years, both women felt something they hadn't felt in a long time: hope. Welcome to my channel, kind viewers. My name is Sabrina. I hope your day is going well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you appreciate the video.